faire gagner le sport.
What does it take to become a sailing champion? Talent helps, but preparation makes the difference. At Gold Winds Sailing Academy, we develop the sailors of tomorrow through elite coaching, advanced training, and real competitive experience. From youth classes to Olympic pathways, we build athletes ready to perform when it matters most. Because excellence isn't found, it's trained. Gold Winds Sailing Academy. To be a sailing pro, start training like one.
faire gagner le sport.
What does it take to become a sailing champion? Talent helps, but preparation makes the difference. At Gold Winds Sailing Academy, we develop the sailors of tomorrow through elite coaching, advanced training, and real competitive experience. From youth classes to Olympic pathways, we build athletes ready to perform when it matters most. Because excellence isn't found, it's trained. Gold Winds Sailing Academy. To be a sailing pro, start training like one.
MDJS, faire gagner le sport.
What does it take to become a sailing champion? Talent helps, but preparation makes the difference. At Gold Winds Sailing Academy, we develop the sailors of tomorrow through elite coaching, advanced training, and real competitive experience. From youth classes to Olympic pathways, we build athletes ready to perform when it matters most. Because excellence isn't found, it's trained. Gold Winds Sailing
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to day one of 2026 World Optimist Championships. We're here, a bit of delay because of the AP flag. We were waiting for the conditions to stabilize a bit, but off we go now in a second with the 5 minutes for the yellow fleet. They race one of the qualifying for the yellow fleet. As you can see on the screen, you have a graphic that's going to be telling you the color of the fleet and the number of the race. So it's qualifying one, you can see on the screen, and just now the yellow flag went up, so it means that we have 5 minutes to the start of the yellow fleet of the first day of the 2026 Optimist Europe World Championships. We are really happy to see all of the parents, coaches, team leaders, to see you all in the stream. So let us know who you're cheering for in the comments. We would love to see you all here. We're really happy to see so much of you already. And if you have anyone that might be also interested in the stream, don't hesitate and share it. We have the QR code and the link. So don't hesitate and just share it with friends, the family, anyone that might be interested. We would love to see as much as of you here as possible. We have 4 minutes now towards the start of the yellow fleet. As we can see, the boats are slowly starting to set up. They're checking the line and seeing what side of the line is going to be in favor and which side they want to go in. So this is a really important part of the race. They really need to get to know the race course. Some of the teams are already here for a long while. They've been looking at the race course, checking which side might be in the favor, what tactics, what strategies are going to be paying off. So they might know already, they might have some information already, but we'll see how it's going to play out today. So now on the screen we have the race course. As you can see, we have the typical outer loop. So we go to first upwind from the starting line towards the first mark. Then we have a reaching towards the second mark. Then we go downwind to the. We have a nice downwind towards the gate, and then our sailors are going to be going upwind towards the finish line. We have a really nice overview of the yellow fleet slowly approaching the starting line. We have what I believe around 2 minutes towards to the start. When we will see the red and white flag going down, it means that we have less than a minute. So let's just watch the flags on the race committee and let's all be ready for the start of the yellow fleet. And here we have the yellow fleet, now less than a minute towards the start. So we have a really nice overview of the whole starting line. As we can see, the sailors are mostly fighting for the committee end. So probably, it's either it's a bit higher, the race committee, or they just want to go towards the right side of the course. We'll see now in a second when they start, and we'll see what's the strategy that they're aiming for in this race, but it's going to be really important for the sailors to know straight away like where to go and where to aim for if it's the right side or the left side. We'll see now with the yellow fleet which side is going to pay off more. And here we go, the yellow fleet just started. As you can see, really nice overview of the start line. We have some sailors that got caught up in the race committee. There was a really big crowd there, but we just see on the race course, we just saw on the race committee that there was a general recall, so the sailors have to come back to their start line. Yeah, the first race can really be stressful for the sailors. It's often happening that first races, there's lots of emotions, lots of adrenaline. The sailors are really trying to push hard since the very start, since the very beginning. So they're really, yeah, the general recalls can be happening at the start. So it's, yeah, quite often might happen, but nothing happens. We just go for the next start, and we will go with the second attempt of the first race for the yellow fleet. As you can see on the screen, we have once again the yellow flag up for the yellow fleet for race 1. We had a general recall, and we're here going for the second attempt. As we can see by the angle that our sailors are sailing, I think the committee is quite in favor right now, so it's no surprise that the general recall happened. It's way easier to have a false start if the committee is in favor. And lots of sailors saw that, and they were really pushing towards the committee end. As you can see on the screen right now, we got not white and red flag, but it's a black flag up, which means now if we get a general recall, the race committee is going to take the numbers of every sailor that they managed to read, and they're going to write them down. So if there's going to be a general recall, or anyone is going to have a false start right now, the race committee is going to sign them on the list, and in case of the general recall, they won't be able to participate in another race. They will have to wait for the second race. But if there won't be a general recall, but they will still be on the false start, they will just have BFD as usually on the scoreboard, but they will be able to race the full race. So let's see how it goes now. We have to remember that our sailors are really stressed right now. It's day one, first race. There's lots of emotions, lots of adrenaline. That's for sure. Every sailor feels right now. So we have to be just remembering that they're under lots of pressure right now. But yeah, we're cheering for all of them. Let us know who you're cheering for the most on the comment section, and yeah, we'll yeah, just let us know. We want to see who's with us here. Second attempt for the race number 1 for the yellow fleet. As we can see, the sailors now are more spread along the fall line, so they're not as focused on the committee end as they were before. We can see a bit that the middle part of the line is a bit lower, but let's not worry about it now because we still have more than a minute left to the start. Probably soon the yellow, now we have a minute, so it's a minute to the start of the yellow fleet. We can see that the sailors are already really nicely spread along the whole line. We can see that the sailors are really pushing towards the starting line now. They're really starting to accelerate, fighting for a really good spot. And here we go, start of the first race for the yellow fleet of the first day of the World Championships. We have no general recall, so it's a clear start, or maybe there's just like single sailors, but from what we saw, I think it was really clear start. And yeah, we have a really nice zoom on our sailor. We can see who had a really nice start and who needs to fight to get the clean air. We have a really nice start by the Italian, Singapore. Really nice overview of the whole fleet after the start. We can see that the Denmark, we had some Italian and Singapore, really nice start. We can see that the Malta here needs to fight a bit for the clear air. It's the race 1 of the qualifying of the yellow fleet. We can see some of the boats that had a really nice start and went a bit to the left side of the course, now tacking away. We still have a bit of the group pushing towards the left side of the course. We have really nice overview now. Most of the fleet, as we can see, is pushing more towards the right side of the course. Brazil looking really strong here, Brazil 45.00. Going towards now he's a bit more in the middle of section of the race. in the race course, but pushing towards the right side of the course. We're giving you really nice close shots of the Turkish boat here. 1440 Turkish, going for a really nice tag. And going more towards the left side, we have Malta passing just behind. Let's see the overview of the recalls. They look really strong, really strong on the left side, on the right side, sorry, of the race course. But I think in the second part of this upwind, the left side might be looking really good also. We came back to the start line now of the blue fleet. So it's the second fleet that's going to start in the race. We're starting to see how they have between 5 and 4 minutes to the start, slowly starting to approach the start line, checking everything. They already saw the yellow fleet competing and starting, so they might have a bit more information of which side is going to be better, which side of the course, which side of the start line. But they really had to watch out and look around to see what paid off, or like still is paying off in the yellow fleet. So it's really important to look at the fleets that were racing ahead of you and watching out for them and looking which side is paying off for them more. So this is a really important information that you could gather as if you're the blue, yellow, the blue, red, or a green fleet. We have less than 4 minutes now to the start of the blue. We can see, same as in the yellow, the sailors are approaching the start. We can see that the wind is slowly shifting towards the right side as the race committee is really in favor right now. So I think there might be a lot of sailors pushing on the committee end, but we'll see how they will decide to play out this shift, this wind, and the whole race course. So yeah, we can see that the race committee just put the AP flag, which means that we probably had a really big shift. What we just said, the wind went really to the right. It's probably because of that. So the sailors have to be really careful getting the information, knowing why the race committee is putting the AP, because this is also really important information that the wind is still going towards the right side. So they just got the AP, so the procedure just stopped, and we'll start with the blue fleet. Whenever the race is going to stabilize, probably the race committee might change the position of the start or the upwind mark or both, and then they will proceed with the 5 minutes for the next fleet, so the blue, the red, and the green fleet. So as we can see on the screen, as for now, only the yellow fleet managed to start. They're somewhere around the upwind mark. We're soon going to see them. We're soon going to see the yellow fleet, but as for now, the blue, red, and the green fleets are waiting around the start line for the wind to stabilize a bit and the committee to adjust the whole race course. To adjust it to the wind that's shifting towards the right side now. We're going back to the yellow fleet as the rest of the fleets are still waiting for the committee to change the race course, and now we'll come back to the yellow and see how they're doing around the top mark. We can see the yellow fleet right now approaching the top mark just on our screens. In the middle we have a yellow mark, that's our top mark. We can see that the wind is increasing as we go with the race. And yeah, I think the yellow side really paid off here, as we can see the sailors coming from the right on our screen now. They're looking really strong. The wind was shifting towards the right side, that's what the committee had to stop the procedure, the 5 minutes for all the rest of the fleets. So, but the yellow fleet was already going, so they're still going with the race. Soon going to be on the top mark. We'll give you a really nice overview of that. And whenever the other fleets are going to be starting, we'll be coming back to the start line to give you a nice overview shot of the line, and so you can see everyone that you're cheering for, all the sailors. And yeah, let us know who you're cheering for, if you're the parent, the grandparent, the team leader, or whoever you are, or just a sailing fan. I hope we also have people like this. Just really enjoy nice shots of the sailing like this, and just let us know who is here with us, and would really appreciate it and be happy to hear from you. We're approaching the top mark with our drones now to give you a really nice shot of the sailor. Let's see who is the one to be leading the first race of the day one in the Opti Wards. You can see that the sailors that crossed from the right, I believe, are looking really strong, but they crossed from the right side towards the left. So there's lots of sailors approaching the top mark from the left ley line now. But let's see how it's played out. Let's see which side is going to pay off at the ley line. And yeah, we'll zoom in, give you a really nice shot of the sail numbers so you can see all of your sailors. And here we have the day one first race, and we have a Polish sailor on the lead of the yellow fleet. Really happy to see it. I'm personally also cheering for them here. We have a team leader here with us of the Polish team, so really happy to see that. In the second position, we have the Turkish, and I believe, let me see who is in the third position. We have Malta, New Zealand here. We moved a bit our drone so we can see the sail numbers as good as it's possible. I think we can have a really nice overview of the fleet right now. So as just a reminder, the Polish and then is leading now in the yellow fleet. And now we can have a really nice overview. This is between 10 and 15 place, now passing the mark. So it's the yellow fleet, and the rest of the fleets are still waiting on the start line. I think, we can see them just in the top of our screen, just on the very edge of our screen. You can see the rest of the fleets around the starting line. So they're still waiting for the committee, probably for the yellow fleet to pass the top mark. Then they will move it, maybe adjust the start line depending on the wind direction, and then they're going to go with the rest of the fleet. So the blue, then followed by the red, and then followed by the green fleet. We have a really nice shot. We can see that the conditions are quite windy right now. The sailors are really have to put all their energy into hiking, pushing the boat, because the speed is going to be really important for today. The conditions are really strong winds, as expected. I think the last few days were really strong winds, and yeah, it's usually the conditions that are here. So the sailors really give to all the energy that they had. They have to be well rested, pushing hard. Well, the physical preparation was really important before this regatta. So let's see who is going to be performing the best in those conditions. So as we saw the yellow fleet passing the top mark, we're coming back towards the start line to see, the next fleets. The next fleet is going to be the blue fleet that we're going to see on the screen. Let's see how they're doing on the start line and how much they have to the start. Let's see if the procedure already started. We're going to the race course with another drone to give you a nice shot of the starting line. What I believe none of the fleets of the blue, green and red started yet. They have to change the race course and the starting line, the direction of everything to the direction of the wind. So that's why we are waiting with the rest of the fleets, but soon we'll be starting with the blue fleet and we'll give you a really nice shot and overview of the starting line for the blue fleet.
MDJS, faire gagner le sport.
What does it take to become a sailing champion? Talent helps, but preparation makes the difference. At Gold Winds Sailing Academy, we develop the sailors of tomorrow through elite coaching, advanced training, and real competitive experience. From youth classes to Olympic pathways, we build athletes ready to perform when it matters most. Because excellence isn't found, it's trained. Gold Winds Sailing Academy. To be a sailing pro, start training like one.
faire gagner le sport.
What does it take to become a sailing champion? Talent helps, but preparation makes the difference. At Gold Winds Sailing Academy, we develop the sailors of tomorrow through elite coaching, advanced training, and real competitive experience. From youth classes to Olympic pathways, we build athletes ready to perform when it matters most. Because excellence isn't found, it's trained. Gold Winds Sailing Academy. To be a sailing pro, start training like one.
Okay, so we're back with the yellow fleet on the gate. As we can see, most of the sailors took the left gate, looking downwind. The ones that took the right one are slowly tacking away, so we can see that yellow fleet is quite sure about the right side. It's quite sure about the right side of the course and is fighting for it really hard. We can see on the screen right now the sailors that are leading in the yellow fleet. So we have a qualifying number 1. Sorry, that was part of the blue fleet. Now we're going towards the yellow fleet. Have a nice zoom on one of the top boats in the yellow fleet. This is the GBR here on the screen with us, pushing hard, taking all the water out, hiking and getting the boat to get as fast as possible to this on this last leg of the race number 1. You can see the Brazil on the screen, 4501, and another Brazilian on the right of him in the yellow fleet on the last leg of this upwind towards the finish line. So this is the last leg of the race number 1 for the yellow fleet. We can see that the Brazil is really well prepared here for this regatta, as both of the boats are really good in the first race, pushing hard, hiking to get the most out of the conditions, out of the boat. One of the Brazilians just tucked away more to the right side, and his friend just followed him to go even more to the right side. We can see the Turkish here going really strong on the right side of the course. The Turkish boat here looking really strong in the yellow fleet on the right side of the course, and just tucked away to go even more to the right side. So I think the sailors have it really clear that the right side is paying off way more than the left side.
Home point updated. Home point updated.
Really nice shot here of the Turkish guy coming towards the finish line very soon, pushing her on the right side here. And yeah, we can see the wind is picking up with every second even more. So it's really hard that the sailors are prepared for the strong winds conditions and for just pushing the boat to its limits. We can see that the Turkish is really fighting hard here, pushing, working with the body. We can see on the screen on our screen now the last fleet starting. So it's the green fleet approaching soon 1 minute to the start line. There are somewhere between 4 and 1 minute to the start, and we can see it on the camera free. And we're coming back to the yellow fleet, and this is the finish line of the yellow fleet. So we have the Turkish 1440 winning the race number 1. Congrats to the Turkish sailor. In the second position, we have, I believe, Great Britain. GBR. Oh no, sorry. This is I think Brazil. Yeah, this is the Brazil sailor. And on the second and third position, really tight fight here on the finish line between the two sailors. We're looking at back to the green fleet that will have the start very, very soon, lining up on the line already. Yeah, as we can see, they probably gathered the information from the previous fleets, and they're pushing more on the race committee end, and probably planning to go more toward the right side of the course. Although I can see on the screen now that the more wind, there's a big gust coming on the left side of the course here on the top of our screens. So we'll see how it's going to play out. And here we have the green fleet, race number 1, just started. We're going to go with them for a bit and show you some nice shots of the start of the race 1 of the green fleet. We just got the information from the race committee that we have 12 to 15 knots on the race course, so it's quite a strong breeze. As we said, that requires sailors to push really hard with their body, with the hiking, to get the most out of the boat. We're coming back to the yellow fleet, to the finish line, to see the rest of the yellow fleet finishing the race. This is the finish of the yellow fleet. And on our screens, we can see last boats of the Yellow Fleet finishing the race number 1 and going towards the start line again for the race number 2. And here we have the shot of the gate from the water. This is the Blue Fleet on the gate. We can see some really nice conditions here for the sailors. The gate of the Blue Fleet. You can see now on the screen the Blue Fleet on the gate landing. This is a shot straight from the water, from the rib, so we can really nicely see the wave, the conditions, the perspective of the sailors that they have. So this is a perspective more from the water. That's going to give us more in-depth perspective of what's going on the water, the wave, the conditions. As we can see, it's not easy out there, and it's requiring so much strength from our sailors. We have a red fleet approaching the second mark here. So this is the third fleet that started the race. Red fleet on the screens, approaching the mark number 2. So they just done the first upwind, the reaching, and they're going for the third leg, which is the downwind leg of the first race, qualifying race. As you can see in the corner here, you have a key Q1 and the red background, which means that this is the race number 1 of qualifying for the red fleet. So this is how you can know. We're going to give you the info about which fleet is competing on your screens. We can have a really nice shot of the sail numbers and all the sailors that are pushing here and fighting and giving their best on the race course. We have a really nice shot of the red fleet on the mark number 2. We can see the sailors pushing hard and giving their best here. We have a view of the boat that's leading in the red fleet. It's Argentina 3286, just approaching the gate right now. Pushing really hard on this downwind, leading the red fleet. We see Argentina approaching the gate right now, going for the left gate, similar as in the yellow fleet. The sailors they seem to really push to the right side of the course, so he takes the left gate, yeah, as expected. and going upwind towards the right side of the race course. As we can see, the sailors are really think that pushing the right side as it's in favor, but we can't get tricked because it's the right side is in favor, but it's still the wind is oscillating a bit. So we have to watch out and push towards the right side, but still watching out for the small shifts as they are making a really big difference. We can just close our eyes and go to one side, as we have to still watch out for the shifts and play them out. Once again, the shot from the water, from our rib, giving a really nice perspective of how hard the conditions are out there and how wavy and windy it is. And right now we're approaching the finish line of the Blue Fleet. So this is the second fleet that started the race. We have a Spanish sailor on the lead, Spain 37-17, what I believe is the number, and just followed by the Brazilians. We can see both in the yellow and the Blue Fleet, the Brazilians were really pushing hard, taking the second place, and the same in the Blue Fleet, pushing, and just very tight fight here for the first and second place, but the Spain takes the win in the Blue Fleet and the Brazil takes the second place. So this is the finish line of the second fleet of the blue in race 1. We have a really nice overview of the finish line here of the blue fleet. Seeing the sailors approaching, this is more or less the middle of the fleet, now approaching the finish line, crossing the finish line. So if you see your sailors, let us know in the comments. We can see some of you in the comments asking about the tracking. The trackings will be with us, but only for the finals. This is not us, but the other company that's just managing the trackings, and they will deliver the trackings for the final days. So today, tomorrow, and the day 3, we'll have the live stream here, and we'll be showing you the images from the live stream here on YouTube, and from day 3 of the qualifying, which will be the day 6 overall, I believe. We're going to have the tracking live, that you'll be able to watch all the fleets in the live tracking. Here we have the red fleet approaching the finish line. We have the Argentina winning the race. Yes, Argentina winning the race. Number 1 in the Tomás Morteo is the winner of the race number 1 in the red fleet. Some of you are also asking about the standings. The standings are going to be on the official website of the World Championships, and but as for now, as not all of the fleets finished the race yet, the results are not live yet. But we're just delivering you the finishing lines, the shots from the finishing line, so we can see the results on the screen. But whenever all the fleets are going to finish the race committee for sure will upload the results as soon as possible, and it's going to be on the official website of the 2026 Optimist World Championships. And now in the studio I have with me Pablo. So Pablo is going to be helping me comment and bring you the live stream. Hello, Pablo.
Hello, thanks for the invitation, and we're here. Let's start seeing the races. I've seen it's quite windy already, great conditions, warm. Couldn't expect better venue for a world championship, right, Sofia?
Yeah. The conditions are amazing here. I mean, anyone that's here with us in Morocco probably knows already. We have amazing sun, really warm, amazing breeze. So it's really just like a perfect sailing conditions that we have here. Pablo, tell me, if you would be a sailor today, what would be the most important to you? Like now during the racing, when you're already did all the preparation, you're in the race course, what would be the most important for you?
Well, I just arrived, but I see it's windy, and when it's windy, it's always the fleet gets stretched out. You have to hike, and the speed differences are very big. So for me, a quick go-to would be boat speed. I would try and be as fast as possible, and that would for sure get me in a good standing.
Yeah, I agree. I think pushing boat to its limit, hiking. I think the physical preparation here is also really important, and for sure the months leading toward those championships are really important with the physical and strategy preparation. What do you think?
Yes, definitely. Physique doesn't come from one day to another. It takes whole season or maybe even years. And yeah, the work during the season will be shown today. Those that learn how to hike or are bigger sailors will for sure enjoy these strong conditions. But also there's something. In upwind, if we're heavier, it's always better. We can go faster with less hiking, but then downwind we have to pay it there, because the lighter we are, the more we can catch the waves and plan. So it's a trade-off. It's not just about being heavy, but if you could be lighter but at the same time hike a lot, it would be good.
Yeah, for sure. But here, every kilogram counts. For sure, the heavy sailors are going to be a bit happier, and it's for sure their moment to shine now in Morocco. But as you said, it's not just better in every situation. For sure, if you're a heavier sailor, you have to have a really, really good technique downwind to compensate for your weight. Because if you're heavier, it's also harder to go downwind. So you might have an advantage upwind, but the technique downwind is going to be super important for those sailors. And on the other hand, the ones that are lighter have a bit easier. Oh, I mean easier. Nothing here is easy, but they have a bit more advantage downwind, as it's easier for them to catch the wave, and their technique doesn't have to be as precise. But then in the upwind, they really have to give their whole heart to hike and to just push the boat to its limit to be able to keep up with the heavier sailors that have, I mean, more advantage because of the kilograms they have on the boat. Here we have the start line for the blue fleet for the race number 1. So it's qualifying 2 for the blue fleet. We have a really nice overview of the fleet. They just got a 4 minutes a second ago, and we're going to follow them along this race number 2. So just the U flag went down, so it means we have less than a minute for the start of the blue fleet. We can see that the wind is all the time picking up. It's really windy right now on the race course. The sailors are spread again along the whole line, which means that there's no side of the start line that's in favor, and they're pushing same as for the committee and for the pin. We just had some question. We have a start of the blue fleet. We can see that the pin was really pushing in the start, so they were really high. Yeah, this is the January call for the blue fleet race number 2. I think the pin end was pushing a bit too much on the start, and they got too high, and they didn't manage to get all the numbers that were above the line written down. So they had to put the January call, and we will have to restart the race number 2 for the blue fleet. We also got a question in the comment section about the Moroccan teams. In which color fleets are they? The Moroccan teams are mostly, there's 2 teams in the green, 1 team in red, and 2 teams in red, 2 teams in green, and 1 team in blue fleet. So one of the Moroccan teams is in the race that we're seeing on the screen right now. The other 2 are going to be soon competing in the race number 1 on the screen here. As we're waiting now for the start of the blue fleet, we're just checking now that a lot of you registered for our online course of the Road to Gold, for the information about the Road to Gold course. So if any one of you is interested, we have parents, maybe grandparents, maybe team leaders or coaches watching our stream. We have a Road to Gold online Optimist course, and we saw many of you are interested in it. So you can find more info in the link in the description box of our live stream. So if anyone of you is interested, just click the link in the description box, and it will give you all the information that we need about the course. But we're coming back to the blue fleet right now, as we just took the January call down, and we have 5 minutes. So it's less than 5 minutes for the start of the blue fleet. Yeah, here we have the 4 minutes. Blue fleet race number 2. So it's qualifying number 2 for the blue fleet, and black flag, which means if any sailor will be over the line now, not only they get a false start, but also if there will be a January call, they won't be able to compete in the race. So it will be the end of the racing for them today. Hopefully no sailors will be over the line and everyone will be able to compete. So we're crossing our fingers for all of the sailors and hoping that the start will be clear in the qualifying number 2 for the Blue Fleet. We can see you're also asking about the Green Fleet. The Green Fleet, we're going to see it on the start of the second race. We're not able to have all fleets together. As you can see, we have only one screen. So we're covering the Blue Fleet of right now, but whenever there will be next fleet starting, we're going to come back to you and try to record the start of blue as we do now, then red, and then green. We can also see some sailors approaching from the top of the line. This is another of the strategies, that they're going higher than the line is and not approaching it from the bottom. Most of the sailors, and some of them are going from the above. This lets them just approach, just like get a different strategy on the start line, and we'll see how this is going to pay off for them. But as we can see, for now, I mean, we still have a bit of time for the start, but the sailors are quite low. They give themselves some space, some distance to the line to get a good speed and to be perfect with the time on distance, as we call it. So they want to have maximum speed in the time of the start line and be perfectly crossing the line. So now we have less than a minute for the Blue Fleet. Let's see, because we also have a phone on the gate of the Yellow Fleet, so let's see that for a second. Oh, I was muted. So we're back with the Blue Fleet. Less than a minute to the start. We can see a big, what we call a banana effect, which is the sailors that are in the middle part of the section. That's a bit harder to get the right distance to the line. They're a bit lower, and the sailors that are on the end, so closer to the committee, so at the end, at the top of our screen, and the ones that are closer to the closer to the pin and committee, they're a bit closer to the line. This is because of the distance to the line, that if you're closer to one of the ends, it's just easier to say how much distance you have for the line, and that's why we have the sailors in the middle a bit lower. But now we got a blue flag down. I think there was no false start in this race. There's no generical, so everyone is going. The race number 2 for the Blue Fleet is live.
JS, faire gagner le sport.
And we're here with the Blue Fleet, race number 2, on the right side of the course right now, seeing the Peru 311, pushing towards the right side of the course and just getting the most out of the conditions. But we can see that the wind is quite strong on the left side of the course. We'll see if it's going to be the right side paying off as the races before, or maybe the gusts from the left are going to be giving more advantage to the sailors.
Yeah, and we can see it is very, very windy. We saw how Chiara from Peru had her sail broken in two, easing the sprit. This is because she can't hike it anymore, and she needs to try release a bit of power. We have Liv from Netherlands here, also similar situation, not as much as Peru. For Chiara from Peru, but still same. She needs to depower. They all need to depower and try get a bit of easiness in these hard conditions. And as you can see, the waves have been building throughout the whole day, non-stop, and this is because it keeps on blowing and blowing, and it's a feedback loop where it gets stronger and stronger. Luka from Czechia here, looking also as he's hiking. Now we can see him bailing a bit, trying to empty the boat.
He looks quite strong from the right side. I think it's one of the boats that are going to be leading the fleet from the right side of the course. We can see the really nice overview from the top of him just getting all the water out and making sure that the boat is as light as possible, has no excess weight with water.
And can you tell me, Sofia, what has been happening in the last few races?
Yeah, I mean, since we got out to the race course, the wind is just picking up all the time, so it's just getting windier and windier. The wave is also slowly getting bigger, so the conditions are definitely not easy today. As for now, what we saw is that the right side was looking really strong. The wind was also shifting towards the right side, and I think that was giving a big advantage to the ones that were going more towards that right side.
So definitely looking like a hard day. Really have to work the boat hard. We see here sailors from New Zealand and Slovenia also pushing for this right hand, going the first on port. We have Ali from New Zealand and Slovenian sailor Gordi Jajikov, both of them pushing. And looking like great conditions and strong.
Yeah, we're going more towards the left side now, following the sailors. We have a Cyprus sailor here.
Theodoros from Cyprus here, bailing the boat. That's key in the Opti. Bailing the boat is not a boat that has auto bailing.
Really nice close-up shots of the Cyprus sailor here. We can see that this is just like battle with the wind, with the wave. Passing behind the Cyprus. Portuguese sailor looking here really strong also, and going for attack right now to probably he's approaching the right ley line.
So we have the updated results of race 1, Blue Fleet. Dani Capa from Spain won the race. Congrats to Dani. His coach Tony, which I know personally, will be very happy. They've been working really hard and did a really good pre-season, even winning one of the European winter events. And he's a big guy, strong guy, won nationals, and for sure he'll be enjoying this condition. In second position, we had Arthur Lamin from Brazil.
I mean, we saw the Brazilian sailors are looking really strong, both in yellow and blue fleet. So I can imagine that the whole team did amazing work the whole winter.
Yeah, they've definitely been traveling a lot. If you see the results from the regattas this winter, they've been everywhere really pushing, and this turns into results. And here we see Arthur just tacking. Arthur was doing really good last year in Slovenia also, so showing he's a all-rounder sailor. Slovenia last year, completely different story, very light winds, and here big waves and wind, and here he is again, so showing he's a top contender and a consistent sailor.
Yeah, I mean, being good in one race it's really nice, but to consistently deliver good results, this is what's going to be paying off. This is such a long regatta, and the consistency in results is going to be what's going to be the most important.
Yeah, and third in the last race from Blue was Vicente Gil from Chile, followed in fourth place by Andrea de Murtas. Andrea also sailor that's been doing really well. Also, we saw him quite a lot of races last year in Slovenia, so good to see him. And rounding the top 5 was Jack from Malta. This was the top 5. As you can see, very widespread, lots of different countries, showing that you can really work hard in your own country and achieve good results.
We have a Brazilian sailor here on the screen on the top mark of the race number 2 in the blue fleet. We can see that he has a bit of advantage. In those conditions, this can be happening. The windy conditions are really hard and the sailors are spreading a lot in the race, so the distances between them can be a bit longer than in light wind, but we can see except him the rest of the fleet is still quite tight, so the fight will be for sure till the very end in this race number 2 for the blue fleet. Amazing shots here, approaching the top mark, windy, sunny, wavy. This is just the best it gets.
Yes, Tanger is definitely delivering great conditions. And it's been delivering, so I've been seeing the forecast for the last few weeks and it was all the time saying similar conditions, strong, so it will for sure prove that the sailor's worth.
So here we are with the Brazilian sailor that's leading the blue fleet. We can see he has a really nice, comfortable advantage here, but this didn't come from anything. He had to push the boat so much to get this much advantage in the only one upwind. It's not so easy. So he for sure played the shifts, the gusts that are also super important today and he just worked them out perfectly. So he's a really nice lead here. We just got a really nice shot, so we can see that the Brazilian has a really comfortable advantage here, and the rest of the fleet is trying to catch him. The rest of the fleet is quite tight, but the Brazilian sailor we have Arthur in the lead, really nice lead, and the rest of the fleet trying to catch him, but he for sure won't stop pushing the boat and working hard for it. Let's see how the downwind will go, as it's going to be really demanding technically, and we'll see how he does the downwind. And here on the screen, we're seeing the Blue Fleet, the gate of the Blue Fleet. So we saw the first boat just passed, and then now we see on the screen the second, third boat approaching the gate, and then followed by the rest of the fleet. we have still a really nice overview of the gate of the Blue Fleet in the race number 2. And soon we're going to be moving towards the first sailors in the Blue Fleet. We're trying to cover as much of the fleet as possible for you to be able to really keep track of the racing, of what's going on. And now we're covering the Blue Fleet. So it's the gate, and soon we'll go upwind to see the end of the last leg of the race number 2, and then to see the finish line and see if the Brazilian sailor managed to keep his amazing lead up to the finish line. We're just now approaching the finish line of the Blue Fleet in the race number 2. We'll see how did the sailors did throughout the whole race. We can see that the Brazilian sailor, I think he lost a bit of distance. We can see here on the screen here. Yeah, we can see the Brazilian sailor here. I think he lost a bit of distance, but he's still either on the lead or just on the edge, on the first, second position, fighting really hard. Now we're approaching the finish line, and we'll have a really nice overview of the line, the way we can see the numbers and all the sailors approaching the finish of the race number 2 in the Blue Fleet. And yeah, we saw the Brazilian sailor Arthur winning the race number 2 in the Blue Fleet. Congrats, he managed to keep this lead from the top mark, which is really impressive in those conditions. It's for sure not easy. Then we see really tight fight between the Italian, the Argentina, Portugal also here on the finish line, Spain, and now it's going to get really tight probably on the finish line of the Blue Fleet. As a reminder, if you're not sure what we're showing on the screen, we have in the left bottom corner you have the color and the number of the race of which fleet we're showing on the screen right now. Now in the screen we still have the end of the blue fleet crossing the finish line here, and after we get all the sailors from the blue fleet, we'll transition towards the red, and we'll go follow with them towards the finish line, and then the same with the red fleet. I'm sorry. This is already the red fleet, so the fleets already mixed up. So the blue fleet got mixed up with the red fleet. So the sailors that we see on the screen right now are already the ones from the red fleet. So if you see your sailors on the screen, this is the red fleet crossing the finish line right now. Yeah, I mean, due to really strong wind conditions, the fleet are sometimes mixing up. The fleet is really stretching out, so the boats that are first might get a lot of advantage, and the ones that are last might lose a bit of distance. And because of that, the fleets are sometimes mixing up. So even if you see on the screen that it's maybe the red fleet, but you will see some sailors from the green, this is possible, as the fleet might be crossing two colors of the fleet at the same time on the finish line. So this is possible that we have both fleets at the same time at the finish line. To any of the parents or support people that are here with us in Morocco, if your sailors are in the yellow or the blue fleet, they are slowly coming back to shore. The yellow fleet is probably already on shore, so you can go to the boat park and welcome your sailors on shore. The red one is still on the water, and same for the green fleet. So they're still pushing hard and fighting on the race course, but the yellow and the blue are slowly approaching the boat park. So if you're any of the parents here, yeah, you can be going to Marina and just give your sailor a big hug, because they for sure worked so hard today, and they deserve all the support and all the rest in the world right now. I can see some of you are asking for the green and for the red fleet. We're trying to cover them now on the finish line in the race number 2. And yeah, this is, I think, some of the last sailors now in the red fleet approaching the finish line, and soon we'll see the green fleet approaching the race number 2 on the finish line. So we still have a bit of red crossing the finish line, but it might happen that the green will mix with the red fleet. So be prepared that there might not be any break on the finish line here, and the sailors might be coming one after another, even though it's different fleets. We can see on the screen that some of the sailors, due to strong wind conditions, are capsizing. This is normal, this can happen. It's really not easy out there. They're fighting with the water, with the waves, with the wind. So as we can see in the top of our screen, we have some sailor that capsized there and is getting the water out of the boat to be able to keep sailing. The conditions are really rough today. The wind is not making it easy. And here on the screen we have a green fleet. I know you've been asking for it a lot, so we're covering them in the race number 2 so we can see the finish line and how your sailors finish the race. We're going to cover them in the last leg of the race number 2 towards the finish line and hopefully catch all of them in the finish of this race number 2. Green fleet on the screen with us right now, going on the last leg of this upwind towards the finish line of the race number 2. We're soon going to see the finish. Lots of sailors here pushing, and as we said before, like in those conditions the speed is super important today, and it's really important to give your best, as all the sailors for sure are doing, and because that's really going to pay off today. The speed is key today. Being fast makes everything easier. And here we have the Portuguese sailors crossing. But he was not the first one. We had some other sailors finishing, but this is the top of our green fleet crossing the finish line right now in the race number 2. So this is the last race of today for the last fleet on day 1, and we can see the finish line of the green fleet. Really nice overview shot of the finish line of the green fleet here. This is amazing. The conditions are so perfect today for the sailors. Not easy, but it's really, really nice. Strong breeze and the sun. Really nice wave. This is the end. This is the last fleet that's going to be racing today. This is the last race for the fleet green, race number 2. And as we said before, probably the sailors from the yellow and now also the blue fleet are on shore already. The red fleet is slowly approaching the marina, so if you're any parent or grandparent or any family member, support team or anyone here with us in Morocco and you want to see your sailors back in the marina, now it's the moment to go and see them. The green fleet is approaching the finish line right now, so they're soon also going to be going back to marina, and yeah, very soon we're going to be finishing here. We're waiting for every sailor to cross the finish line. We want to cover everyone from this green fleet. And here we have one of the last boats approaching the finish line here in the green fleet. We can see that the conditions are really hard and some of the sailors are struggling, maybe capsizing. It's completely normal. The conditions are not easy. So the fleet is spreaded really spreaded in the distance. So as we can see on the screen, there is a bit of distance between the boats now that they're approaching the finish line. Maybe some of the sailors capsized. If you don't see them on the screen, this is also possible. Last sailors approaching the finish line of the race number 2 of the Green Fleet. Thank you everyone for watching, for showing your support either in shore, on marina, here on the stream. Really appreciate it. We're trying to cover as much as possible for you, but the conditions are not only hard for the sailors, our drones are also fighting with the wind here. So we're just covering as much as we can and we're just doing this best job here and with our drones. So thank you everyone that was here with us today supporting. We had some of the people with us in the studio. Thank you for that also, and thank you for showing your support to your sailors from all around the world. It's so nice to see so many nations racing in one race course, meeting in Morocco to compete for the most important trophy, which is the World Championship trophy. Once again, thank you everyone for watching and being with us today here in the live stream. We'll stream for you every day of the World Championships here in Morocco. So hope to see you all tomorrow. If you know anyone that might be interested in the stream, don't hesitate, just share the link, send the QR code, and share the knowledge with everyone that might be interested. And also, we saw many of you showing interest in our Road to Gold online course. So for anyone that's interested, and like if you're a parent or just a sailor yourself, or maybe a coach, don't hesitate and just go into the description box in our Road to Gold channel here in this live stream, and in the link down below you have more information about the online course of the Road to Gold. I think it's a really nice opportunity to improve your skills for the rest of the season, or maybe for the season 2027. The course is made for sailor on all levels, so you don't have to be a top sailor that's competing here. Maybe you're a sailor that didn't manage to qualify to the World Championships and you're watching us right now. I think this is a really good opportunity to up your knowledge, to get more experience, and just doing it without going to the water. I think it's a really nice opportunity. So highly recommend you the course, and if you're interested, just go into the description box down below and click the link to our website and get more info there. Thank you everyone once again, and see you tomorrow in day 2 of the World Championships in Optimist here in Morocco.